Hi, I'm Rishabh from IKEA Automation, and this is the second video of our series Revenue Revolution, where we demonstrate the value of AI powered revenue growth through practical builds. While prospecting, after putting in long hours and hard work, do you ever get just a lead's name and email address but nothing else? That too unverified. You're left guessing about their company size, budget, and whether they even match your target criteria. It's like trying to sell blindly, which leads to wasted calls and no shows. Now, picture a simple AI workflow where, as soon as you get a lead and enter it into your system, the system automatically enriches that lead, like their job title, their industry, and their LinkedIn URL, for example. Once this is done, you know exactly who's worth talking to. That's the magic of our lead enrichment workflow. No more cold calling leads, only to find people with zero decision making power. Think about the benefits. You save time by focusing on real prospects, reduce your cost of trial and error, and ultimately close more deals. That means more revenue without expanding your sales team or spending hours on manual research. Ready to see how easy it is to set up? Stick around, we are going to pull data from an enrichment API, run it through N10, and spit out leads that practically come with a blueprint and for how to pitch them. So let's dive
Is the
in.
lead list which we generated in our previous video on Autopilot using Apify API. Now in the current video, we will be enriching this lead list. That let's jump onto N10 and create another workflow. We'll use a basic trigger manual for node for this. And the next thing we'll do is add the Google Sheet, which will be the source of all our leads. And we'll select get rows in sheet. And again, we'll select the same sheet which has all the data to further process it in the current workflow. Let's name this enriching leads. So we'll be receiving an array of data, and to process that, we'll be using loop. Let's set the batch size of this to 20 to process 20 data at once. And we'll use if. So in our lead list, some of the data did not have email and some of the data did not have mobile number. But for companies which did not have website, we cannot do much about it. We cannot look deeper into that. So we'll filter out those companies using if node. So let's use this in a loop and remove this one. And here we will be checking if the data we receive from the Google Sheet, which will be of a website, is empty or is it filled. Website is not empty. The second thing we'll check is email. So we'll check if the email is available. If it is not, we'll be asking for email from a different source. So email should be empty. And also, if you remember, we had set a new variable or an additional variable which was enhanced. So we'll be making use of that. So this enhanced variable is a boolean which we need to check if it is false, right? So if it is false, we haven't enriched or processed that data in the current workflow. And if we did, we will be setting the same variable as true in the later part of this video or this workflow. Now, if this is false, we will be looping back to the origin of this loop. And if it is true, we will continue forward and will add hunter node. So this node is readily available in N10. And if you haven't created your account on Hunter, you can jump onto that platform and click on API. Here is the API key, which it provides free for some leads or for extracting some data. So we'll just copy this and go to a workflow. We'll select create new credentials, and paste the API key here, which I've already done. And it provides three different APIs for different purposes. We will be selecting domain search, and here we will use JSON dot website. So this will take in the website URL and it will return us emails. Just make sure you have selected this so it only returns the emails and not other unnecessary data. If you're using the free version of Hunter, you would want to limit the extraction or the data output to two or three, maybe so you can maybe test it more. Now, since we are using websites, let's just use edit node here to properly process data or push it forward along the pipeline. So in the edit fields, I'll select expressions and JSON.website, which we received from Google Map. And this is actually the value, and the variable name will be the website. So this will be available to our Hunter node. Now Hunter receives site link and returns us the response in this format. So what it does is it has this value as key, which gives us the email which it has extracted from its sources. And it also shows us the confidence it has on this email being the original one and linked to the website which we provided. So once that is done, let's again put an if node to see if the response has been received from Hunter and if it's not empty, if the Hunter found the response basically. So JSON.value, and we'll check if it is an empty string or not. If it is not, we'll just loop back to the next data. And if it is, we'll save it in our Google Sheets. So let's add another Google Sheets node. And here we'll select append or maybe update row in a sheet. We will be just updating the blank emails, or for the rows which did not have any email, we will be adding the email which we received from Hunter. And let's select our sheet, leads sheet 1. Okay. So it is checking what columns we have in that list, and it is asking for which column to match on. So we update the email of that same column, right? So we'll just remove those because we are not updating any other field, which we are just updating the email. And let's select expressions and JSON dot value, right? And the column which we will select is the website, and how to enter data here. Now, if you had checked the response of Hunter, we are not getting the website link ahead here. The website link is not getting forwarded through Hunter. So we'll need a little different way. It will be a little peculiar, but we'll use JavaScript to extract the website which we have saved here in edit fields, right? Use JavaScript find function for this, and to get website, we will first check edit fields. We'll fetch all the information which has passed through edit fields, and we'll use find method. And edit field basically has website variable, so that's what we will use. It has item.json.website. If that link or that string which edit field has includes the later part, which is JSON.value, which is basically the email received from Hunter. What we'll do is we'll just extract the later part of the email, which will be the later part of the business email of that company, right? So if the company email ID is business at ikea.agency, we'll just extract ikea.agency from that email and we'll compare it with all the website URLs that is passed through edit fields to find our correct website link. So let's just copy this code and put it in the website part of Sheets here. Make sure you click expressions and maybe get rid of this extra space. So I'll be providing this code again in the sheet attached to the video link. So make sure you check that out. And once that is done, we have filled our Google Sheet with information. Let's connect it back to the loop to move on to the next data set, right? Now let's save this and test this workflow. Now we are not adding any extra chat keyword to trigger this workflow, but we'll just select test workflow and to kickstart this workflow. Let's check the executions. It will take a few seconds and it has succeeded, right? So let's go to our Google Sheet. And then let's check how the data flowed through across the pipeline. And the very first thing it did was loop through all the data which it received from the list of Google Sheet, and it processed it one after another. This was a major filter if, and here it basically filtered out the leads which had email or which had websites but not email. So this one had email and website. Let's go ahead and see. So most of them went through and ended up in the false branch, but the one that reached Hunter was as a vision which went into Hunter and it did not return any output from Hunter. So Hunter couldn't find any linked email to that website. And let's check the Google Sheet to confirm if the workflow which ran was accurate or not. So we can see most of the leads have email which already had website, right? But this one did not have website. Those two did not have website. The one that was an outlier was this one, which had the website but did not have email. And this is the one which Hunter checked as a vision. So Hunter could not find any email attached to this, but that's okay. We can maybe look into some other company detail. We can add our own company name, which is based out of Mumbai, and I'll fill in the link, HTTP link of the website, which is HTTP, right? So, okay, so let's run the workflow again and see if this one gets executed now. And the workflow can find our email. So let's test it and check the execution. And it did. It could find our own business email. Let's see how the execution worked this time. All right. So our company name passed through the if loop or if filter and it went into Hunter and it did detect the business details of this and it returned business at ikea.agency, which is the support email of our company, and it filled it in the sheet. So that's our enrichment workflow. Helped us find many of the business emails linked to that website or of the one leads. So if you found this helpful, if you think this tool is helpful and this entire workflow is helpful, I'll be providing uh, an uploadable JSON structure which you can just import into your N10 and your workflow will be ready. Just make sure you change your credentials to one which will fit your accounts linked to your company. And once that is done, your workflow will be ready to be executed and it will enrich your data sheet within seconds. If you found this video helpful, do give us a like, subscribe to our channel, and share it to your friends who will benefit from this. And also share it to business owners who requires lead extraction. This can save them hours.